that scale. I had one instructor that used to tell me to do this. Because see, you want that B, the diminished scale you're using over that B7 flat 5, you want that to be every bit as comfortable as this is, as a C major scale, okay? Would not be that difficult for you to do this, right? To play all the inversions of a C major scale. Pretty easy, right? And consequently, you can play all sorts of patterns on a C major scale. You know, I have a lot of freedom just finding notes of a C major scale. It's all whiteness, right? You know, so I want to be that comfortable with this diminished scale. So you could make an exercise out of this. Now all of a sudden I'm slowed down. Not quite as fast. I haven't done this in ages. This would be good for me to do again. But see, the idea is then and take it slow, but I'm picturing the scale. I have to see the scale as a group of notes. So that's that diminished scale, root to root. There it is from C to C. Here it is from D to D. Here it is from anything it takes. And then, like I say, make this exercise. And then the last step is, you know, and then start running exercises. Once you've familiarized yourself with the G, once you familiarized yourself going from that G major, which you're using on the F sharp diminished and actually using on everything else at this point. There's other scales we can get into, but like I say, start simple.
Yeah.
Once you familiarized yourself with that, going from that, then start doing it over the first 8 bars, using the range. And here comes the change. Once you get comfortable with that, different ranges, you know, running the scale, start making up exercises or patterns. Not the best fingering there.
So that sounds nice.
And you can come up with some pretty hip sounds just on that major scale because, you know, obviously very diatonic there. Now I'm using a couple grace notes.
And root and sevenths on the left, mostly?
For the most part, yeah, I'm using like the root third, put the 7th in there. Just, I'm not really thinking about the voicings I'm using that much. So you're, so like I say, you're developing exercises to take the transition of, okay, intellectually, you know, I can use G major scale over these first 5 measures. And I'm going to use the B diminished scale over that. You intellectually know that. Now we're making exercises to try to create this bridge between this intellectual knowledge and making music with it. So the patterns. You know, you hear people use that kind of stuff all the time. Also be aware of the fact that even though I'm choosing note scales or notes from the scale, making the scale the basis for it, I also use a lot of arpeggios. thing there at the end. But start out with just thinking about the scales and getting comfortable with that. You can do the same thing with your arpeggios. And I put a flat 9 in there.
Are you doing the extended arpeggios or just
Right. That was just root.
sevenths?
1, 3, 5, 7.
Got it.
Always start out with the simplest stuff. That's why I say think G major scale. You know, there's a lot you can do with that. Now we're at the bridge. That didn't sound good. Back to the G major scale. Anyway, so, you know, and another thing you learn is that I got to get to my next list. Another thing you learn is that ultimately you can start using that diminished scale over the F sharp too. There's a little dissonance notes in there, but you know, that's all diminished patterns, but based on